Welcome to Breaking the Chains Repatriation Journeys. I am Bakita Muhammad, and if you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, all of that YouTube stuff, whatever. But today I have one of my favorite guests. It's always a pleasure to have him on the scene. It's always enlightening, always a pleasure. Mr. Yahosua Williams, please reintroduce yourself and let's get it popping.
Hey, well, again, my sister, Queen, I'm honored to always be here with you because I got your back. You're my sister, one of my road dogs. We gonna get it. We gonna bite it. We gonna tear it up, do whatever. And plus, my Taurus sister, I just genuinely appreciate you because I don't do a lot of this because I'm not into clickbaiting and I'm not to propaganda or trying to be a celebrity because
Right.
it's about the liberation of our people. Because I know it's a lot of folk out there twisting titles and doing whatever so they can get clicks at the expense of the vulnerability of our people.
Yeah.
So I thank you because I know that you sincerely want the truth and you want the best for our people.
Ab-
That's why I'm here with you and whatever support you need, I'm there for you. And when, like I said, when our thing launches, we got you on our team. Period.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, to just kind of jump into it, we, as you say, we have a lot of work to do in our community. As we take on this journey of moving back to Africa, there are a lot of challenges. There's a lot of great things that come along with it. Don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of challenges, and I feel like we don't address those things head on. Um, and as I said to you before we uh, started, you are one of the men that I personally feel have the leadership skills and qualities that it takes to get us headed in the right direction. You are firm, stern, um, direct, but gentle and kind and courteous and on time and all of the great attributes of a true leader and your wisdom. Like uh every time I'm having a little moment, I reach out to you like, bro, what do you think? Like, what should I do or how should I handle this? And you always give me really good advice. So I'm saying all that to say, where do you where are we? What are we doing? How do we do it?
First of all, I'm humbled, truly humbled, and I appreciate the acknowledgement because even in my younger years, when I was engulfed in religion, I didn't fit in, so to speak. But one of the things I asked for, because I was always like the smallest kid or the guy, the new kid on the block, but always thrust into leadership positions because of some of those very attributes that I even tried to tone down because it intimidated those who were insecure. And once I understood my purpose and understood the importance of me being me as it pertains to the collective, I stopped. And I want to thank one particular person in my life that helped stir that up. Basically, whooping my ass was my wife.
That's what we're
Seriously.
for.
Hey, and I'm so glad she's strong, weak, not weak, intelligent, and stubborn in that vein to say, wake up,
Yeah.
because dealing with our people can whip the hell out of you. It can damn near kill you. You got to be almost crazy. But to your question, we're in a very precarious space, and meaning that a lot of us are waking up, and we're at that incubator stage. And that's the most vulnerable place that you can be at.
Yeah.
Just like when a woman is pregnant, especially at her first trimester, whatever, she has to be very cognizant of her diet, the stress levels, etc. If she's smoking, stop. She's drinking, stop. Doing all those things because it can affect the baby
Yeah.
long term,
Right.
not just through the pregnancy, but long term.
Right.
So when you're at a space where all of a sudden there's an awakening taking place in you, and all of a sudden Mama Africa is calling you, you
Hmm.
need to be really cognizant of who you are listening to.
Absolutely.
So many people get their information off of YouTube. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything is wrong with YouTube. However, there's a lot of crap on YouTube
Absolutely.
for people who simply want clicks so they can get money at the expense of the vulnerability of our people.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of propaganda. There's a lot of emotionalism.
Yeah.
There's a lot of falsehood. There's a lot of ego. There's a lot of scamming and fraud that's going on. So I've been saying this for the last 6, 7 years that the greatest weapon we have that we can have at this time and stage in our life is that of discernment.
Yeah.
Some people call it the sixth sense. Some people call it that street knowledge. And like you see my posts on Facebook, I'm like, when you come here, don't lose your street sense because you around the motherland.
Right.
You got people that get here that couldn't practice some holistic modalities in the U.S. without being certified come here and doing it. You got everybody and their grandmothers all of a sudden a spiritualist and a healer. That's like, what's the difference between that and the bootleg pastors that set up a church outside, down the street on the corner, without any kind of training? Even Paul Kagame in Rwanda said, listen, you got to show some kind of certification. And he closed down 6,000 churches and mosques.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, because we won't take the time to mature and go through an incubator or a quarantine space of introspection to look into the mirror, we come here like a dog that's been in a cage all day and go berserk because we can't handle freedom.
Mm.
And so
Mm.
and so what happens is we find ourselves in trouble. And what happens is people say, y'all got crackheads over in Ghana? Yes, crackheads. Well, where the world they find crackheads? A crackhead can find crack on the moon.
For real. For real.
Hey, listen, if you are looking for an enabler, you can find whatever you're looking for because like begets like.
Yeah.
We got brothers here that bashed. I'm specifically talking about African Americans at this point because we're talking about repatriation.
Right.
We got brothers here that's bashing the sisters. We got sisters here bashing the brothers. We got toxic masculinity and toxic
Yes.
femininity
Toxic
going on.
femininity. Yes.
No, we don't want to talk about these things
We don't.
because you got a history of choosing sorry ass piss poor men. Your mother got a history of it. Your auntie got a history of it. So all men are blanketed as that. I remember in the 80s, 90s, Montel Williams, the former host of that talk show, he had a campaign called Two-Thirds Black Men, something of that sort. Because all the emphasis was put on one-third black men in jail, incarcerated, part of the criminal justice system. But what about the two-thirds that's doing their job?
Right.
It's not my fault you keep choosing who you are. You keep attracting what you are. See, we don't want to deal with that. If you keep choosing irresponsible, badass people, that's a reflection of the energy that you got within you that you refuse to be accountable for and refuse to acknowledge.
Brother, you just literally turned the light on for me. I have been trying for the last few months to figure out what is this? What is this that I'm seeing? Because honestly, I don't know the men and the women that these people are talking about. So I really felt like I was in some kind of box or in a bubble or something. And I'm like, I don't know men who aren't like leaders. I don't know men who aren't providers and who don't tend to their family. And I don't
Come on
know
now.
those men. I know that it must be out there because y'all talking about it, but I don't know those men, and I don't know the women who are after men for money and after men for this
Right.
and that and the third. I don't know those women. I don't know couples who aren't working together and doing the things that need to be done. I don't know these people, and I have been feeling like I'm banging my head against the wall trying to figure out like what's going on. And you literally just in 2 seconds just turned the light on, and it's people are attracting what they are.
It's called the law of attraction.
Exactly. And it's not that I am just so blind to what's going. I'm attracting what's like me, and I'm getting what I'm putting out there. So and so are the people that are around me. So no wonder. That's the reason why I'm so confused and bewildered. I had someone even said in one of my comments, someone said that when Black women are faced with the truth, they act confused, as to say that I was pretending like I didn't know what was going on or whatever, but I really didn't. And you just cleared it up for me, and I appreciate that because
You're
I've
welcome.
been
You're
really
welcome.
struggling with that.
Because the problem is we've been playing victimhood for generations now. It's everybody's fault. It's the white man's fault. It's this fault. It's the government's fault.
Yeah.
But yet we are here today and overcome the worst situations and circumstances, and we still playing the victim.
We can't keep doing that.
It comes a point in time where we got to stop saying it's everybody else. And I'm talking to both men and
Both
women.
men and women.
We got to grow the hell up, be honest, and look in the mirror and stop hiding and pretending behind this false spirituality. Stop hiding behind these false titles, whether you belong to a sorority, fraternity, or not, being in your corporate persona, all these different things. Take all of this shit off.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror and say, look, you know I'm not a religious person, but there are some truths anymore. I'm spiritual, and sometimes you got to be mindful of how you use that because people use
Right.
that all out of often.
Right.
But I use some truths where I can find parallel in any source. But there's a story in the Old Testament about Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob before his name was transformed. And I'm paraphrasing like this. Jacob was troubled.
Mm-hmm.
He had his wife and daughter. He said, listen, y'all go this way. You heard the story in church. Jacob was wrestling with the angel.
Yeah.
That's not the allegory there. So Jacob said, listen, I need an encounter because I need to deal with some stuff I can't quite grasp. I don't quite understand. There's something going on with me. And babe, baby girl, I love y'all, but y'all go on. I can't do anything and can't be a benefit to y'all until I deal with me.
Right.
So he went to the Almighty. And he said that he in his prayer and devotion meditation, he said, I'm not gonna let go until you bless me or until you reveal to me what the problem is.
Right.
So the Almighty asked him, who are you? Basically, he was like, look in the mirror. Tell me what you see.
Mm-hmm.
And what he revealed to him, that's why names mean something in African culture. Just
Yeah.
don't name your child Labrickashaw. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
Name something significant. So anyway, like my birth name Stephen means crowned one,
Yes.
king. And I'm the third. And Yahosua means and he shall save his people. So it's actually that was a given name, a spiritual name given to me, but it's fulfillment of my purpose. But anyway, he said, the Almighty asked Jacob, "Who are you?" He said, "I am Jacob." And it's more than just saying what his name was. Jacob means deceiver, trickster, basically fraudulent, disingenuous.
Mm.
So he was acknowledging who he was and the attributes he was manifesting. And the Almighty said, "You are right." And as a result, now your name is going to be changed to Israel, which means that you've striven with men. You've had conflict with everybody you come in contact with. You've striven with me. You blamed me. You didn't want to acknowledge me. And now you've overcome.
Yeah.
Until we deal with the ugliness in the mirror, we're going to always be a victim and blame everybody else for our demise. Something that I've grown to understand in this last year, and one of the toughest times of the 14 years me and my lovely wife have been with, is, is lonely time. And lonely time is necessary time because you can't get healed of your ugliness in the crowd. Even in your own damn house, you gotta have some private time where you got to deal with the shit that's inside of you, not just through your life, but from generations that you've inherited. If you want to be whole and be a vital, sharp, perfected tool to help liberate your people and to fulfill your purpose and to perfection. And that being said, is you begin to look at circumstances, obstacles, challenges, and see opportunities. And in those opportunities, within you, your purpose is to provide a solution to that obstacle that's there.
Woo!
So each and every morning, I don't expect to lose, even if it looks dire. I get up every morning expecting to win, even if I don't feel like it, even if I'm sick. I'm not a sickly person. This year, in the 10 months, I've been sicker than I've ever been. Had
Mm.
all kinds of challenges, major dehydration, vertigo, kidney stones,
Mm.
boils, styes, back to back to back. And all because I know something's about to break forth. But I did not lose my faith in myself. And it's not about God outside, it's the God within.
God within. God within.
Within. And trusting in the ancestors that, hey, y'all surrounded me, y'all got me. But I had to deal with some ugliness, being afraid to be alone. That's why many of us settle for piss poor relationships too, because we're afraid to be alone. Because if we're alone, we gotta hear and deal with that ugliness in the mirror.
Ooh-wee.
So that leads me to a situation that's going on right now here in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, is a viral video that's going around about a sister alleging abuse,
Mm-hmm.
being assaulted.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot, again, I abhor abuse of women and children to the teeth.
Yeah.
In any of our people, matter of fact, but particularly women and children.
Yeah.
And I will do anything to support, to go after, vigilante style if need be, to anybody that does it to any of our people. However, it's imperative that we use wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to know the facts.
Yeah.
Because we've had many of a black man killed because of an allegation.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Sons,
Yeah.
nephews, cousins, brothers, fathers, because of an allegation or something that was misunderstood, or people taking it and running with it without looking at the facts.
Yeah.
And because we are so emotional, we're emotional politically. That's why we keep voting for the same message, get the same results.
Hmm.
We're emotionally, intellectually. Somebody brings some truths to us that contradict what we already know up to this point. We're ready to fight and debate and argue, cuss, and carry on. We're emotional in our relationships. We don't want to hear each other's point of view. It's my way or the highway. That's why many of us can't have a spouse or a significant other because we can't get along with nobody because we're so emotionally charged. Brothers can't get with brothers, sisters can't get along. We can't get stuff done because we're emotionally and haven't evolved to a mature state where we can coexist.
Right. Right.
So here's the situation. as you know, it's funny because before I had this sty, I was going to talk to you about the company that we used to be, in a sense, like powers of attorney to Casa States
Right.
Limited.
Right.
Um, we devised, actually Candace, my wife, devised an awesome, outstanding package, step by step process on how to acquire land in this litigation free land. Let me say this from the onset. I don't believe CASA is a scam company. I don't believe it's a fraud company. I think they are a typical company that exists here that's poorly managed, poorly run, antiquated processes, and just ass backwards of things that they
Yeah.
do, and not understanding the necessity for evolving and reinvesting in your company to meet the standards of your clients.
Right.
And as a result, when somebody doesn't understand that from abroad, it looks immediate like they're being fraud,
Yeah. It does.
defrauded, because they have not taken the time to understand how things work here.
Yeah.
I'll give you a quick example. Registering a company here, you know, the government says, come on, Black Americans, come to Ghana, invest, invest, invest. It's not that damn easy
It is not that easy.
at all. We got a name that we're branding, and you got people on that end will tell you that sounds like an NGO, not a non-for-profit, so we can't approve that name. Who the hell are you to tell us what our company does and not do? But
Yeah.
that's what they do. You got a bank, you got all the major banks here tell you what is needed to get to the bank, and then they'll call you up and say, oh, we need this, we need that, oh, we need this. We said, why didn't y'all tell us that from the onset?
Right.
Onset, rather. But anyway, back to this issue. There's a sister alleging assault and alleging a whole lot of things. And you got different people on different platforms on WhatsApp groups, and we got to do something. They are commenting on it and not knowing any of the facts.
Yeah.
This sister actually came here and bought land and was working with us in our community.
Mm-hmm.
We say right at the top, at the beginning of our packet that we used to send out, and mind you, we have not done any new business with that company in over a year and almost a year and a half
Mm-hmm.
because of their antiquated ways. We try to work with them. We even devised with our attorney a joint venture agreement to help them deal with the diaspora client base that was coming. We saw a tremendous opportunity for a product that they have, which was an easy land purchasing process.
Yeah.
If they took the time to evolve as a company, they could have been the number one development land selling company here in Ghana. And that's what we were endeavoring to help them get to. Because even the owner, meeting with them several times and several board members, he saw what we had the ability to help them do. But
Right.
they kept canceling meetings, doing this. There's no way an indenture should take a year and a half.
No, it should not.
And I told them, if it weren't for me quenching the fire of anger and disdain of the clients, telling them, hey, let's be patient, let's be tactical, it would have been 113 possible people like this system.
Right. Right.
For slowly and surely, they have started to fix this indenture process and starting speeding up the process, but after this debacle. Another issue is, and you know this, Ghanaians, for the most part, don't like confrontation. They just ignore stuff and expect it to disappear.
Yep.
It's just going to go away if we ignore it.
Yep.
That's not right.
Nope. You can't do that.
When this sister was disgruntled, and when we were disgruntled and dissatisfied, they should have dealt with that as from a customer service perspective.
Absolutely.
Because most of our clients pay, 3/4 of our clients paid in full, and others have paid up to pay it off. And once it's paid off, that's when the indenture process. They had one person with over 2,000 acres doing the surveys to do the site plan.
One person?
Yes. And I know him personally now. It was overwhelming. And not just that land, but other lands. But see, these are the nuances that people that get emotionally charged don't know. Because if one person said, I was fraud, there's 200 people didn't get their contracts. They just cheating us from the outside looking in without knowing all the details. That's what it looks like.
Right.
So that's actually misrepresentation. That's embellishing, and that's actually you could be sued for that because in slander you got to when somebody is saying fraud, you got to show that it was intent to commit fraud,
Right. Right.
not because you feel like I was fraud was perpetuated or perpetrated against me. It can't be my opinion what I think. I can feel a certain way, but if you're saying this is what happens, you got to show intent.
Right.
And that's not the case. It's just that they ask backwards,
Yeah.
which is not unusual here
No, it's not at all.
at all. We got an indenture back in 2018 for 4 plots in an area that's not far right off the ocean. We paid it in full, got the indenture in 2 weeks. We went to the lands commission. They said we can't put it in your name yet because it's a dispute going on in the entire area, not this specific land. So we got this indenture now for 4 years.
Wow.
And because it's a dispute, but we got the indenture.
Yeah.
See, these are things that people from afar don't know. That's why I say, who y'all listening to? But see, again, the sister has a fault, but most importantly, like I said, whether the situation happened or not, that's not my point. My point is the onus of all of this is on the CEO of the company. Like I shared with you, if somebody comes to my house is a wreck. It's filthy, funky, dirty. My kids are all misbehaved. My wife looked like Harriet the Bomb, and she looks a mess. People gonna look at me as the head of the household, say you ain't handling your business.
Right.
So if you go to a company, the company is in disarray, the employees are not knowing what the hell they're doing, they frustrated, misrepresent the company. That responsibility is on the CEO. The CEO should fix this situation.
Exactly.
He should have gone to the sister the first time she did her video, even before that, and say, listen, how can we rectify this situation? First, I want to acknowledge that we are at fault. I apologize on behalf of my company and myself personally. What do I need to do to fix this to satisfy your needs? That's business.
Exactly. Exactly.
Not hide your head in the sand and expect it to disappear. Now you got this situation. But one thing I do know, what does not help is the busybodies, the signifiers, those that are looking for an issue to arise so they can jump on board and see, I told y'all, I told y'all.
Yeah.
The people that got too much time on their hands, call themselves leaders in communities and groups and all this and that. But every time an issue arises, they don't say, hey, what we need to do to fix this?
How do we
because
fix
let's say
it? A solution.
Come on. Let's say if the sister's allegations are totally false. You know what a good portion of Ghanaians would say? You see how those African Americans are?
Yeah. Yeah.
We are a minority here.
Yeah.
You see how they are? And stuff spreads here real fast.
Bad news travels like light years.
And it's going to be a whole lot of people looking like fools because they jumped on this without knowing the details. If anybody, they should have pulled the sister in and say, listen, we got your support, but we need the full detail because you only heard one side of the situation. Right. One thing I will say in ending this part, the company that we have today, African Century Solutions, African Century Development, had nothing to do with dealing land sales with Ghana. Land sales whatsoever, as it pertains to Casa State. My wife and I were doing it through our NGO as a service to people.
Right.
Acting as a liaison because they weren't here, they sent us an authorization like a power of attorney to sign on their behalf. We took care of their payments. We kept their receipts. Once they got everything emailed into them immediately, receipts, contracts, everything. Even now that we're getting indentures, telling everybody this is the cost to express mail it. Here's your express mail receipt tracking number and sending it into the mail. And even connecting them with builders. So in spite of all this, we're still there helping our people because 99% of those people that we're helping are wonderful people.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with business, you're going to have difficult clients that you want to deal with and some you don't. And even some of the ones you want to deal with at times can be difficult.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
part of business is knowing how to manage it,
Yeah.
knowing how to deal with difficult people.
Yeah.
But that's just life here. So I would be it would behoove people to stop being so damn immature and emotional and looking for damn problems to see how can we fix this as a collective? Because this is a black eye on all of us. If it did happen, we need to fix it because we don't want to be punching bags for anybody either.
No, we don't.
But we got to operate from a spirit of strength and wisdom too,
Yeah. Yeah.
and not foolishness.
And speaking of not being punching bags, over the last few months, I've had to, or I felt the need to speak to a couple of different women about being assaulted in Ghana, unfortunately. Some sisters that I'm really close with and who haven't felt comfortable sitting on camera actually talking about it have expressed some concerns and some issues that they've had. And I've had a few women who have been comfortable enough to say on camera that, hey, yeah, these kinds of things are happening to us. As a man who probably doesn't experience things in that way, as far as being physically attacked, what has been your experience and understanding as far as African American women coming to Ghana and dealing with men who can be who they feel are being a little more aggressive than they would have expected?
Excellent question. And again, in no way I condone any kind of abuse, particularly against our sisters, being a father of daughters, uncles, sisters, and a wife. First things first, there's a few things to address with this. You got a lot of our people come here and don't like our own people. I don't want to come here and be around the no niggas. I want to be around our own. I want to be in the bush with the locals. Okay, you're not a local. You don't know the language, the culture. You don't understand the attitude of the sisters here, born here in the culture, compared to the way you were there. And most of the attitudes that our sisters have in America is there out of survival.
Thank you.
All the alpha attitudes that a lot have is not something natural they want to be.
Not natural.
Is but some people take it as a natural. This is the way I am. No, but it's out of order because we've been forced that way. We've been created to be that way.
Right.
Okay, that's one point. And then back to my point, not willing to evolve and make adjustments. Because some of the things you can get away with with the mouth in the States, they're not used to sass over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
In some places, it's acceptable for a man to slap a woman.
Yeah.
In some cultures, to beat their wives.
It's true. It's true.
So you all up in some man's face, mushing his forehead, doing all this stuff. Hey, it's some brothers in the States ain't gonna have that, but here they're not gonna do it. You can't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I know it's occurring. But here's one other point. You can't come, and this is something that I used to talk about brothers in the hood to go pick these bottom of the barrel white girls. You picking white girls, the white boys don't even want. Can I be real? Then you come over here to Ghana, you pick Ghanaian dudes that the local women don't even want to deal with. But
Absolutely.
yet, the African American men ain't shit. And then when somebody up in your ass, you want us to come rescue you after you've been sitting up in these groups beating us down to hell.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just being real. And it's on the flip side too. It's not acceptable in either way.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something from a man's perspective. I don't give a damn what some of these guys got with these toxic masculinity bullshit they talking. Men are emotional, extremely emotional. We may manifest differently. We get our feelings hurt probably as quick or quicker in many instances than women. We just show it differently.
Yep.
We hide behind this machoism stuff. We are sensitive as anything. And one of the things that hurt us the most, that we most of us will not admit, is when y'all say, I don't need no man. I don't need no black man. I don't need no man to take care of me.
Mm.
I'm an independent black woman. I don't need no man. When the essence of a real man is to be able, it doesn't infringe upon your freedom to be you, to earn your money, do you. But the essence of a man is to be able to get up every day and know, hey, I took care of my baby. I took care of my children. I provided for her. That's the most important thing to a real man.
Yeah.
And then when our partner on our side says, I don't need you to take care of me, that's like saying, I can't protect you no more. You
Yeah.
telling me I can't protect, I can't provide, because part of provision is to provide protection too. It's just not money.
Right.
But it's because if I can't stand there in front of you like, hey, when time comes, you out there by yourself. And then I'm watching this and you're taking away my power to do what I have to do for you.
Okay, that's fair. Let me ask this, because this is one of the things that I've noticed. Because I've made a quite a strong statement. Um, a lot of these men that I'm seeing, they have a problem with women who make their own provisions or whatever. I don't know any women who say they don't want or need a man. I don't
Right.
Most of the women that I know are women who see the value in men. What I have come across is I see a lot of the men feel like if women are, or when women are able to take care of themselves, which we've been forced to have to do, then it's a problem. And it's like, it seems to me like, okay, if I'm able to provide myself with a really comfortable living, but the man is not capable of doing that, it's like they want women to live destitute because they can't provide a comfortable life for the women and the children. And then they're upset with women because the women can do provide financially better for themselves. So I guess I'm glad I don't have that situation, but I struggle with how to help young women understand that yes, we need men for we need men. I don't even know how to explain it. We do need men.
We need each other.
We need each other, exactly. But it's hard to, when you see these men and the way they come at the women, the way they're approaching the women with this vitriol, and the way the women are approaching them with even more vitriol. It's like, how do we get our people to understand that that is not the way, that we can't communicate with each other like that? And I'm not willing to lower my my life, my the way that I live my life, just to be able to be with a man. And I wouldn't expect a man to do that either. So how do we help our men and women to understand that, to understand each other? Because I think they're missing each other. It's like two
Awesome,
ships
awesome,
passing in the
awesome.
night.
Awesome question. I have a outlook on this. It needs to be a total overhaul paradigm shift on how we see relationships with Black people. For the most part, we're programmed by Eurocentric ideals and values. Notice something, for example, the Black family is under attack, period. It's been for a while, but it's amplified. If you notice on TV in America, how many Black couples do you see on commercials?
You don't. You see either a Black man with a white woman or a Black woman with a white man.
Television, and again, if your sexuality is like men, women, that's your business. But on TV, it can be four white dudes, one Black dude, he gay. Nowadays, every other show got to have a homosexual love scene.
And it's always a
Black
Black
people.
man. It's always a
Yep.
Black man.
So there has to be a paradigm shift. Number one, this is my philosophy to men. You're not ready to take on a spouse if you don't even know why you're here. Because if she's successful in her right, if we go by the traditional way, we should complement each other.
Right.
But if you don't know your purpose as a leader, where are you going to lead a woman to? If you don't even know why the hell what your purpose is in life.
Thank you. And
if you don't know,
they're not, who's gonna follow somebody who don't have a? I'm not following you, and you don't have a plan. You don't have a path.
Look, these are conversations a lot of dudes don't want to have. Listen, because I'm extremely hard on the brothers because it's about we need to wake the hell up.
Yeah.
Because let's go because most of our people are Bible people, so I'm gonna use their Bible to help them out. The story of the man in the garden, they call Adam, which was a civilization. He was given a purpose: take care of the earth. You a farmer, take care of the animals, take care of the earth. Your mother, the mother earth. As a result of him acknowledging, taking his purpose, fulfilling his purpose, he was then gifted with a wife from his side to be side by side to complement him where he was lacking.
Right. Right.
And most brothers are so freaking egocentric because most brothers are chicks with dicks.
Woo!
We are, that's what toxic masculinity is. Because number one, if you can't acknowledge that you got some weaknesses and you so emotional, a sister come and challenge you, you all up in there, you a chick with a dick. Because you should be the one, if the sister is up in arms and worried, you should say, baby, we got this. Let's stay the course. Listen, you keep doing what you're doing because she may have to be the one to be the corporate CEO to bring in the six figures while you building a restaurant. Or you out there laying the bricks because you're getting all the tools, the mental tools, the experiences to start the construction company. She might be the one with the fine suit on that goes to executive CEO meetings and you got on coveralls and you got grease in your nails and stuff like that. So the freaking hell what? Because if you got a team and you got a family vision, nothing's gonna break that up. And this is to the sisters. Don't look down on the brother that ain't wearing no Brooks Brothers.
Exactly.
If the brother got a vision, and you got this little coon over here that's driving around a BMW that he got on lease, that he's behind a couple payments, but he looking good and pretty, and got his hair faded all out, but he ain't got no damn vision. But you overlooking the guy over here that got the coveralls on, but he got 25 acres of farmland and he got a little scraggly beard, but you overlooking that dude because
Yes.
you're looking at the pretty boy with the Brooks Brothers on.
Yep.
They got no vision. That's a womanizer.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's 39, still acting like he in college, got to screw everything with a hole in it because he hasn't addressed his manhood yet.
Right.
See, these are the conversations that we got to have
Right.
because there's got to be a paradigm shift. We've allowed Europeans to define how we should look at each other. Yes, people say, well, marriage should be a contract, a business relationship. Yes and no. It should be founded on, hey, I love you because I love the vision that you have. I see myself fitting into this. What what brothers don't understand is a lot of sisters love a man that shows power, shows authority, shows leadership. That's why a lot of sisters, as my wife say, love men in uniform because they give a picture of authority and leadership
Yep.
and fearlessness.
Yep.
And so if you sit up here not talking about yourself from an ego perspective, paint a picture to her. You want her drawers wet, want her panties wet? Show her the vision
Yes.
and show her, hey, babe, this is where we're going. Lead. If nobody else
Lead.
believes in you, you believe in you, God damn it, and do it. And
Lead.
she's gonna be there with you.
So
So
how do
don't
you
be.
so there's this continuous conversation that there's a brother in our community that he'll send me like videos show me how you got men talking about how black women uh this or black women that we ain't this and we ain't that, whatever. There's a lot of that going on. And um the brother seems to feel as if um women the women are emasculating the men and all of this stuff or whatever. And I contend that the men that I know don't allow nobody to do anything to them. I don't
I
know
was about
men
to say
who
that.
ask for permission to lead anybody. I don't know men who need permission to be a man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nope.
the men that I know are men who, when they walk in the room, you feel like you
Come
can see
on
the
now.
women sit up. Like, okay,
Yep.
my
As soon as
husband,
they open up their mouth.
you're one of those men who, when you walk into a space, people pay attention. And I think a lot of these men think that masculinity or leadership looks like aggression or whatever. And I contend that masculinity looks like um firmness and assertiveness, and not necessarily aggression, but gentle and kind. But all of the things that I said that I see in you, to me, that's what leadership looks like. Leadership in men, to me, is, I don't know many men who are loud and abrasive and all that stuff. Their masculinity is quiet and strong. And those men, I don't ever hear those men talking about the women aren't feminine, because women are naturally feminine around them.
Absolutely.
Women
Absolutely.
become much more and it's because of the environment that is created when you walk in the
I agree.
space. So what would you tell these young brothers who feel like, oh, these women not feminine enough, and these women not they don't want to do this and they don't want to do that? Like, what would you say to them?
I talk to young brothers all the time. I would say first, get your eyes off of women right now. Deal with you. Deal with you. Because you ain't ready for no woman yet. Because if you point the blame, it'd be just like Adam in the Bible. Oh, it's that woman that you gave me that caused me to disobey you. Stop. Number one, if a man is sure of who he is, He's not worried about what the woman's doing or not doing because maybe that's not for him. Because let me tell you something. Everybody is not an alpha. It's all right to be a beta. We made it look like, oh, everybody got to be the alpha.
Mm-mm.
Everybody can't
Everybody
be the
can't.
head.
Everybody can't
Look,
be it.
I'm a sports guy and I love sports analogies. Perfect example. There's a guy that just retired. He going to the Hall of Fame named Jamal Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed to be like the best six man ever to play in the NBA. But he was satisfied being the sixth man coming off the bench because he knew when it was his time to shine, he was going to make an impact doing what his role was. And the problem with most guys is they're intimidated by other men, so they shift the blame on women because that's easy because you're not comfortable in your own skin. Look, dude, you're not a businessman. You are not a businessman, and it's okay.
It's
You can be a
okay.
great support. You that doesn't make you less of a man. Doesn't make you less valuable. Listen, you'll never be a player, brother. Look, brother Bud. Look, you ain't got what it takes, but you got the intellect. You're gonna be a hell of a coach. Why do you think some of the best coaches in professional sports probably never played, or they were mediocre at best? For example, I'm not a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. Mike Tomlin, who I adore this guy, black coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He said he wasn't a great player. He wished he was, but he's a great coach.
Right. An amazing coach.
Amazing coach. And his players love him because he's straight up. So it's okay. The problem is these guys don't know their purpose. So it's pointing the blame. It's the man, it's the system, it's the women. The sisters are sitting around waiting for real men to stand up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And listen, I'm telling you this from a man's perspective. I can't stand the fact. This is why we got to understand the circle. I think I mentioned this to you one of the last shows. We got to understand circles of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
We got four circles within a wide circle, a circle in, and then you got the center circle. You got to know where your role is, and you got to know where other people's role is in your
In
circle
your
of
life.
life.
Yeah.
The outside circle is for people that you know. Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's happening? You know them, you may know their name or not, but you see them frequently at events. The third circle, people you know their names. Your good friend has a party, you see them, and hey, how y'all doing? Whatever. You know, their kids play with your kids. The second level circle is the ones you invite to your house. Y'all in there playing spades, Uno, phase 10, whatever. Y'all drinking, maybe lighting one up, doing whatever. Hey, hey, because the third and fourth may not see you lighting one up.
Right.
They don't need to see you lighting one up. And that's where we go wrong.
Yeah. They don't know that ain't none of their business.
Right. But then it's the inner circle. Those are the people that's right there.
Yeah.
Right there. And even the people on the second level, they got to have their circle.
Right.
So until we understand relationships like that, we're going to find ourselves out of sync. Because what we do is, instead of comparing ourselves to ourselves and see where I should be compared to where I am, we compare ourselves to each other and we get out of sync. That's where the jealousy comes in. That's where the insecurity comes in. That's where the hating comes in because we're not comfortable in our skin. I know that, and I had to accept that I'm a leader. I had to deal with myself because I tried to downplay it for years because it intimidated people who weren't, but were in fact in leadership positions. Because I've had this vision of building a town that dealt with every aspect of our existence for over 30 years. For 30 years, and it's going to come into fruition here because your purpose is tied to a place, a time, a people, and timing.
Timing.
So
that just spoke to
your
me.
purpose is going to come. It may delay itself, but it will come to pass if you stick to it. And that's the problem with most men. They don't understand that part.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be the HNIC when you're not supposed to be the HNIC. You're supposed to be the assistant.
Mm. Mm.
And it's okay. Hey, listen, some dudes love driving. That's why I ask questions to every young person I see. I say, what do you want to do in life? This
Right.
is my purpose question, and my book will be released. I said, what is your purpose in life? They say, what? What do you mean? I said, if money was not an issue, if you could choose one thing in life to be, and you would do it for the rest of your life, and you didn't have to worry about money for the rest of your life, what would it be? And before you answer that, it's something that excites you and angers you at the same time.
Oh.
I said, what do I mean by that? I hate stupidity and ignorance, but I love to inspire and teach.
Ooh. Wow.
Some people hate filth and dirt, but they love to organize and clean.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
people look at stuff and look at a signboard and say, that font is terrible. That's this, that's that. Or some people look at structures and look at this. Some people see, a car broken down and smoking. I know what the problem is. The gaskets are blown and see this. You got to know what your purpose is. All those signs are around you. Nobody can tell you your purpose. You got to know it.
You
And
gotta.
when we spend time on that, you ain't got time to be hating nobody. You ain't got time to be jealous of nobody. And then all of a sudden, when you in your purpose, it's an energy force that comes forth. It is a light that brightens. And guess what? Those that are supposed to be around you are going to be drawn to you. That woman, man, that you're supposed to be attracting is going to come to you. Because why? She has a similar purpose that complements yours. And together, you got nuclear lights.
Wow.
You
Wow.
don't have a nuclear bomb of destruction because the reason why most people aren't together and aren't supposed to be together because they don't have a common vision. The screwing was decent for a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That
even that gets old.
that's profound.
Like
I wanted.
I meant to say that before.
Okay. So what I was saying, we before I had to break, we were talking about our men and our women and all of that. And I was just telling you that I appreciate your I shared that video that we were talking about earlier in this conversation. I shared that video on my YouTube, and I emotionally shared it, and then I had sent it to you afterwards, and it was late in the night, so I didn't get a response from you until later in the morning. And I was saying that I don't mind correction. As a matter of fact, I welcome it. It just have to come in a certain kind of way. And the way that you didn't even know that you were correcting me, but I felt like I was being corrected because I did respond emotionally. I'm a woman. I tend to do that. I need to work on it. But your leadership in being able to say, hey, this, if this did actually happen, this is not something that I would, that I agree with. Nobody should put their hands on nobody. But we need to know all of the facts before we make decisions. But my main concern about that video was outside of the poor business practices and all of that stuff, which is something that we have to deal with, is us as African American women, Black, whatever you want to call us, coming into this society. We have to figure out, how do we lessen the probability of us being assaulted or attacked or getting those kinds of interactions between us and the men of that society. What would you say to that? Can't hear you. I can't hear.
Sorry, I hit the mute button for whatever reason.
Okay.
Sorry. Part of the reason why the vision that we have for a company and the purpose is to address this very thing. When my wife and I moved here in 2017, we saw that there were not any, it was not a space for centralized solutions for us. There was not a space whereby we can go find out how do I get a bank account, how do I go about getting land, a house, whatever. You got to figure it out by yourself or go. And many of the folk that have been here for years and years and years, God bless them. Maybe that wasn't their purpose, but they didn't pave the way for us.
Right.
And in many instances, to me, in my opinion, that's problematic. Okay. However, instead of looking at that and blaming, we said we got to come up with a solution. One of the reasons why we have this situation, in contrast to other ethnic groups, other places, including Ghana, when the Lebanese come in big numbers to Ghana, they pretty much set up and live near Spintex.
Yeah.
Their businesses are on that whole corridor.
Yep. Yep.
It was an incident that happened a couple months ago where a Ghanaian dude had a Lebanese in the car going up Spintex, and he was trying to rip the guy off and begin to assault the guy. The guy got out of the car and went, whistle. Them mofos came out of nowhere with guns and sticks. It was going to beat that Ghanaian dude's ass.
Wow.
I don't blame them.
I don't either.
Go to Chinatown and try to be, throwing up tag signs and all that stuff. I'm talking about you gonna whip Yao Ming's ass.
Right.
See what happens to you. Go up to Little Italy doing some stuff. Just like from what I heard recently, there was a Lebanese dude that was doing some inappropriate stuff. They dealt with him and got his ass to get out the country.
Okay.
So the problem is we come here, like I said earlier, I want to live in the bush. I don't want to live amongst our people. There's no protection in disaggregation. You can choose to live where you want to, but we have a culture ourselves.
Right.
We have a great culture. People come here and are infatuated and minimize our culture. Our culture is influential in everything.
Right.
Some of the most popular music right now is I think it's called Amapiano. It's the house music from South Africa, Afro beats, and they'll tell you they were influenced by hip hop and house music come from the U.S.
Yeah.
From us. So I'm saying this. For example, in Maryland, where I live, where Koreans, a lot of Koreans are, they live in a corridor right where I grew up.
Right.
And here we go here, there. So when issues happen, you got to get on the phone and try to galvanize everybody for support. You're out there by yourself, and that's dangerous. Number one, for sisters in a society that's pretty much man-led.
Yeah.
Where's your protection? So we got to create a new paradigm where we can live together, thrive together, heal together. It doesn't mean other Africans can't.
Right.
Why is it there are no African American food restaurants here? If I want some real candied yams, sweet potatoes, some real potato salad, not with no damn raisins in it. I want some real fried chicken, not some boiled chicken that you just drop in the grease. That you eating it like it tastes like a Slim Jim.
Right.
I want some real barbecue baked beans or something like that. Some tuna macaroni salad with real mayonnaise or whatever, or whatever you use.
Right.
Stuff that we like. Bread pudding, rice pudding, whatever we like.
Right.
I want to go to a club that I don't feel like listening to no more Afro beats. I want to listen to some Maxwell, some Sade, some Lettucey.
Smokey Robinson.
Smokey Robinson. I want to listen to some 90s stuff. I want to listen to some Eric B. and Rakim. I want to listen to some Nas. I want to listen to that. I want to listen to some Boney James. I want to listen to some Coltrane. I want to listen to some B.B. King. I want to
Yeah,
listen to
Miles
some Derek
Davis.
Hammond. Come on, I want some place where I need my escape. So we need a space where we can have our entertainment, our food, but showcase our culture that everybody else can fest in. Because if I want a feast in, because guess what? If you want real authentic Italian food, where you go? Little Italy.
Little Italy.
You want some real Chinese food? You go to Chinatown.
Yeah.
So you want the real African American experience? Come to AA Town or whatever we call it.
Right.
What's wrong with that? That's not being separatist.
It's nothing wrong with that at all. I don't see anything wrong with it. So how do we? Because I know there's a lot of women that I'm coming in contact with who are feeling disenfranchised by our community in Ghana, and I know it's because it is very disjointed, right?
Yeah.
So things happen and people feel like the community doesn't galvanize to come together like the Lebanese community or the Chinese community or whatever. I know for a fact there was a situation of an associate of mine is a Lebanese guy, and he was telling me about one of the women having an issue in a taxi cab, and that woman was assaulted, but they found that dude, and that dude to this day probably is not walking.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, why isn't he walking? He said, because he kicked her.
Uh-huh.
And we meant to make sure he never kicked another person again.
I'm for that 100%.
And
look,
I don't know. I just think that, we're coming, a lot of the repatriates are single women.
A lot.
And from what I can see, it seems like the majority of the repatriates are single Black women. And
majority.
I feel like the more we come into this society and the more, we are who we are. But at the same time, when you're coming into another society, you need to be able to adjust to how that society works. And like in my case, I don't do much business or anything without the assistance of a man, not because I'm not capable of doing it, but because I understand how that society works. And right. I've had instances that have gone a little bit awry because people those men tend to see women in a certain kind of way, women and young people. And it's okay with a lot of the women too. A lot of the women, because that's the society that they grew up in, they're just like, this is just what it is. Right. So our women coming in, a lot of our women are marrying these men. A lot of our women are, they're roaming those across streets, doing, I think you said that we don't know how to handle freedom, and we don't understand that our freedom comes with a cost.
Freedom ain't free.
Freedom ain't free. And I just really, I keep wanting to touch on this conversation because so many of the women coming are single women. And this is a they're getting in taxi cabs and having difficulties. They're having difficulties in stores and things of that nature. And I want to figure out how and why and what do we need to do, and where do our men come in that are there.
Okay. We have a solution with our company that's going to fix this. We're just waiting on the funding, and then we're going to divulge it.
Okay.
And it's going to solve some of these very issues. Because what a lot of our people need to understand is, for centuries, just like you have people here, if you say something costs 5,000 CDs, you still have people saying it costs 500,000. Because they still use old money.
They still use old currency thinking.
Old currency. Yeah. And so you still have people using old cultural ways. For example, I remember for a long time, even still to this day, when we were using a taxi, and we had one brother who's a dear brother that's Ghanaian, and I would say, go ahead and take my wife here. And she said, okay, I need to go somewhere else. He would call me first to see if it was all right to take her there. I said, what did she say? He said, just take her. Because he didn't want to take her word. He wanted to take my word over her word. And I had to tell him, if she tells you to do something, do it. Because her word is my word. My word is her word.
Right.
And so when a sister comes here and sees that and not used to that or understand the cultural nuance or the cultural aspects of it, they will get offended. And all of a sudden, fire starts. Here comes the mouth, and he has his mouth, and you don't talk to me that way. I talk to you how I want to talk to you any kind of way. Who are you? Who are you? Next thing you know,
he's saying, who are you? She's saying, who are you? Everybody, who are you?
And it's all it is. It's like that show from the 60s, Cool Hand Luke. What we got here is a failure to communicate. And that's all it is.
Yeah.
A failure to communicate. We got the lines ain't connected. But if we have community, or real community, a township is what we're embarking upon. That's why all this other drama doesn't really faze me. Is a distraction, and I will not be sidetracked by it. Just like every sidetracked by celebrity drama with Will Smith and Jada 1 minute, the slap is this and that, this, another one, that. No, those are all distractions, because the powers that be, our enemies, know how to get us off course. But as leaders like yourself, you see this vision, and it's not there to put the attention on me. I'm just one person. But anybody, sensible leader, know you cannot fulfill a vision of this magnitude by yourself.
Right.
You got like-minded people that can collaborate with you. There's no egos, because at the end of the day, we ain't going to have to worry about money. Because if we are bringing a viable solution and bringing added value, that's the last thing. We're going to have people to handle and count our money.
Right.
But the good part in it, we'll be creating a vacuum by which we'll be elevating other people, and they'll make money.
Right.
Because we want to change the paradigm of, look, if we know a lot of Ghanaians see us as cash cows and banks, okay, in a sense we are.
Yeah.
Let's use that to our advantage.
Yeah.
If you see us that way, and you think that we have this money, open the door so I can go get in and make sure that we all got it. Don't block the door with this red tape bullshit that we got to go through for setting up a company. If you see that I got big money and I can track big money that could pay y'all real money,
right,
make sure I get in there.
Right.
And cover my ass. That I ain't got to be looking over my shoulder. But that's what it's all about. We need people that can see past what's going on right now and see down the road, because this is about legacy.
Yes.
I got to share this one quick story with you before you close out.
Okay.
Here's another thing about the importance of being in your lane, being in your purpose. When you are, all of a sudden, you start attracting what you need. You start all of a sudden voids that you have. We need an HR person. We need a person that's a major project manager. We need an IT person. All of a sudden they start calling me. I've had people recently in the last couple of weeks call me from interviews from your show.
Wow,
I'm talking
really?
about people that work in Wall Street that say, wait a minute, I hear something here different from what you're saying that I don't know what it is, but I want to be tied to. So we send them a non-disclosure agreement, they sign it, and we say, okay, let's talk. So recently, our dear brother Hector, husband of our dear Jennifer, my baby, another one of my baby sisters, love those people, love them.
I love them. I love them.
I'm telling you. And it's so funny. Hector told me a story about when they were in the U.S. He said, I'm not used to being around so many white folk. He said they went to a Juneteenth festival. He said, I felt like I was back at home. I said, bro, you a bruh. So anyway, Hector, he knows about what we're embarking upon.
Mm-hmm.
And Hector, out of his love, connected us to this guy, this other guy. I won't mention his name because he hadn't get permission yet, but you'll meet him. Mm-hmm. But this brother happened to be from the northern region.
Okay.
And he was schooled as a low-level chief. And up in the north, there were three primary kingdoms. The Mamprusi would be in the older brother, where you have the Nyeri up there, where we were gifted land, a story I told you about before. Then you had a middle brother and a younger brother. I forget the name of the two younger ones. But the middle brother, this is where this guy is from. He said he heard about the vision that what we wanted to do up the north. He said it brought tears to his eyes because he said answer to their prayers for centuries. He said, "What?" I said, "Why? Why do you say that?" I said, "Can you hold on a second?" I put it on speaker so Candace could hear, and I called another one of our partners, our younger brother, Tyrone, who's one of our business partners. I said, "Bro, you got to hear this. Here we go again." So this brother said, "I want to share with you." I said, "First of all, you Ghanaian?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You don't sound like it. You sound like you're from the East Coast." He said, "Well, I spent most of my years in the DMV. The DMV is DC, Maryland, Virginia. And I went to Howard University and I lived in Largo." I said, "Wait a minute, that's 30 minutes where I live, where I grew up." I don't know what's going on with Maryland, but anyway, his wife is a chemical engineer that worked under the Obama administration and then under Trump, because that's what her role was. But she wasn't a politician, but she has a big lab in Cumberland, Maryland, and it's big to do because a chemical engineer will be great in the agribusiness, especially with product development, enhancement, etc. So anyway, he was like, "But I got to tell you this, and I'm ashamed of this part of who I am and my people." He said, "My people participated in the slave trade." So I'm listening. Tyrone's listening. He said, "Yes, we were the ones that were helping to gather y'all up and selling y'all down to the Ashanti, who sold y'all to the Europeans." I'm gonna pause right there for a second. He said, but when we thought they needed people because they were building their kingdom, so we were gathering up people to send them down there, but they were trading it off for tobacco and guns and stuff like that and selling y'all over to white people. Took y'all down to the dungeons to be sold to the Americas and all over. The Americas, including the Caribbean, etc. When we found out, we tried to stop it, but it was too late.
It was too late.
He said, and we've suffered ever since. He said, it's like a curse on the northern region because our older brother was trying to stop us, but we didn't listen.
Oh, wow.
Mamprusis. And we heard this story from them, but we didn't hearing it from one of the people. He said, so what I've been petitioning since I've been installed as a king, to go to the elders and say, we must do some kind of restitution and lift this curse off of us.
Lift the curse.
And I said, he said, I'm excited, even if y'all do y'all thing up in the Mamprusi kingdom, if it's in the north, we all win. But I want to present something to you. He said, I said, this sounds like some form of reparations. He said, yes, it is. But however, there's no way anybody can restore or repair or pay what was done to y'all. But he said, but we that were here, born and live there, we see your value. We see your value. Because like the one sister I told you about that did business here, she said she was afforded to go to Howard University. She was afforded to open up a business as a Black woman. They are afforded here to have resistance and fight to stand up for their rights because of what we did as a people in America. We gave energy to the South Africans. We gave energy to other nations to stand up and fight and call out Black power and Black pride because of the fight and the fortitude within us. So this brother said, we want to make a public apology, but just not an apology alone. We want to do it in your face. And he said to hear that you guys are wanting to come to the North, he said only God Almighty could have put that in your heart to want to build up the North when nobody really wants to build up North.
Yeah.
He said where they are, and I won't mention the name, I'll talk to you offline on that. They've discovered recently oil, gold, and iron ore in their land. So I said this, and it's a train line going straight down the Thames.
Are you serious?
Because we want to do agribusiness, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And product development is part of our central nervous system. And it's right on the rivers. So anyway, I said, so isn't it something in the Constitution about the government when you find precious minerals and stuff? He said, yes. He said, the government has first rights to it. However, if Bakita owns 10,000 acres and they discover oil on it, the government has to give you fair market price for it. So what does that do to your pockets?
Ooh.
We sitting over there fighting for a check by Whitey to cut us a check. We better get, listen, where we were about a month ago, we were on some land looking at it, and they kicked the Chinese off because they were illegal mining. But yet they want to open up the red carpet to give us this because they see our heart is pure. We better get here. Don't come on your own if you don't know the routes. We are here.
Right.
Forget about Casa States, because that was a lesson learned for us, what not to do in business.
Right.
But it gave us experience in how to do things in land. Don't worry about all the negative stories that exist out here, because check it out. As many African Americans that have been duped in land, multiply that by 100 to 1,000 times that Ghanaians have been duped out of land.
For real. For real.
And don't forget the times that you've been duped out of land and your ancestors have been duped out of land in America. So don't act
right
like
now. I'm sitting on some land right now that our people was duped out of. Eminent domain.
All you got to do is watch that show. I think it's one of the saddest shows, but I'll keep watching it. It's on Oprah's station, the Black channel. The Black show.
Queen Sugar.
Yeah. I hate that theme song. I hate
oh
that
my
theme.
God, I know.
I feel like saying, I'm gonna jump off a bridge.
I know, I know. It make you want to jump.
But anyway, I like the show. But that's a perfect example of what our people are doing to this day.
Yeah.
And acting on that show, I love it. But anyway, so I want people to see what I need, what we need right now is positive vibrations.
Absolutely.
So funds will be released.
Absolutely.
Because we got a plan that benefits all of us. It ain't about Stephen, Yahosua. It ain't about African-century solutions, African-century development. It ain't about us. We're just vessels.
The vessel,
to bring this to pass, to bring other like-minded people that say, listen, I can get with this, to give us advice, to be consultants, to be collaborators. Bring your gifts to the table and see how we can build up a dream team to do this for our legacy.
Yes. Yes.
For our children's children. That's why our school system is going to be built in such a way that's not going to be regular curriculum, but purpose-driven curriculum.
Purpose-driven. Purpose-driven.
So if your baby girl, every time your husband out there open up the hood of your car, she there say, Daddy, look, that's the spark plug. Your car comes out. She said, Mommy, I think you got bad fuel. She's in tune. hey, stop putting her in ballet. She want to be a mechanic.
Exactly. And with you even saying that, right here I have some tomatoes. I've been teaching my daughters. I don't send them to school. We homeschool. Good. And we got some mustard greens right here growing, and I got some okra over here and some peas and all kind of stuff. And this is an experiment that I've been doing with my children to pique their interest in growing their own food, because it's something that their mom is passionate about, and so is their father. You know, in Ghana, we are building us a little farm and all of that stuff too. But as like you said, we have to, like, I see my kids come out here every day and they're looking at the plants and they're asking me questions. Mommy, why is this here? And what is this here? And how do we deal with the bugs? And how do we do this? And, you know, our children are these little sponges, and whatever we give them, they'll soak it up. They do a virtual learning thing, but I noticed, like, my 6-year-old, she gets the stuff really quick, and then she wants to do other stuff. And we have to learn how to see, like you said, if this kid is more interested in, if my daughter is more interested in what's going on under the car hood, why am I worrying her about algebra and geometry and calculus and stuff like that? Put them in. We need to have purpose-driven education. We want to give them this European version of what education is, and many of us don't even learn well under that system, because it's sit down, talk, somebody talking to you, and that's not how you teach. And I just really, really appreciate even you all having the mental fortitude to even understand that we can't continue to teach our children in that way. We have to take another route and even go back to what worked before, which was teaching our children ourselves. And not like, why do we trust our open enemy to educate our children?
Malcolm said, if they're going to treat you wrong, they're going to teach you wrong.
Right. So everything that you all are doing, all of the planning that you all are working on, I'm happy that you all have been building that relationship with the Northern Kingdoms. And I'm super, super excited for what is to come, because I know some good shit is about to go down. I can feel it. I know it. I know it doesn't come without some challenges and all of that stuff. But I also feel like you said, these are the things that will help us to better integrate into this society. It'll help bring down the assault that women are under in Accra. It'll help bring down the ability to get frauded, because if you don't have somebody who's able to say, look, I've been here for 10 years, I've been here for 20 years, I know exactly the route you need to take so that you don't lose a lot of money, or you don't find yourself in a situation like that young lady where whether it was a miscommunication or not, if in fact she was assaulted, it ended up in a really bad situation where if the collective was to be able to be there on her behalf, or someone was able to be there on her behalf, we could have avoided this now viral situation from happening. So I appreciate y'all for what y'all doing. I know it's a lot of times we can't, it's important that we don't just talk about stuff or what's going on behind closed doors, because regardless of how we want to feel, there are powers that be that do watch channels like mine and are looking to, they trying to see what y'all doing, what's going on. So that's one reason why I'm really careful with what I share and how I share it. And then sometimes I just throw caution to the wind and say, them. And, but not with really important things. So
Right.
I appreciate you for this conversation, and I really want us to have more conversations about our community and how to help our community do a better job of integrating into Ghana, especially our women who are coming in large numbers. Like, I know somebody who's moving this month. As a matter of fact, I know 2 women. One is coming to Ghana, one is going to Zanzibar this month. And I know somebody else who's coming, who's going before the end of the year, moving, not just a visit, they're moving. So we need these things in place, because the more and more of us get there, the more and more we're gonna have some challenges. But having our leadership in place who actually give a damn, I think it'll help us to avoid some of these problems.
I'll put this out there to the listening audience. If you can find a space whereby you can be who you've been created to be, you can walk outside and see people that look like you from all walks of life. You'll see African people with Russian accents, Jamaican accents, South American accents, Louisiana accents, Canadian accents, West Coast accents, British, German accents, but they all have a same ancestral backdrop. Those that speak trees, those that speak Swahili, Ga, Ewe, Yoruba, whatever, Hausa, Fra, but come together and build a world where our children don't have to worry about violence, white supremacy, where we can go to a healthcare system that doesn't treat symptoms, but deals with the root causes, that practices preventative healthcare. You don't have to worry about massive power outages for no damn reason, because we're using solar and wind, where we don't have to worry about filth and trash all over the place, but we have proper waste management and recycling. We have fresh water treatment centers where we have alkaline, where your children are learning by the time they graduate. They'll be masters at their particular area of expertise. Adults can come back and get continual education. The locals don't have to feel threatened, because they are now have skilled positions and trained, where we can fuse together some of the attributes and the experiences that we learn and fuse together with traditional things, where we can learn some of the traditional medicines and have research tied to it, where we could have a place where we could have a lake where we could walk around, where children could see a Black man and a Black woman loving on each other, walking, holding hands, where families can relax, where you don't have to work 12 and 13 hours a day, where we support each other's enterprises by which everybody contributes to everybody's successes through a circular economy, where we can have an amphitheater, where we can have some live jamming music. The best of our stars from all over the world come in and tour the area, but also entertain us and heal us.
Yeah.
We're talking about a sacred space.
Yes.
That we're not fighting over religious ideologies, where we're rediscovering who we are.
Yeah.
We're talking about, and that's what we will build.
Yes.
Not in somewhere in the distant future, but now. We need your prayer. However whoever you pray to, respectfully. We need that positive energy to come.
Yes.
And we need your help. When the time comes, P. Diddy just put out something recently that they were looking for masters of trades of everything, because they said it's a paradigm shift taking place. We know this, but if we're going to be putting it out, we're going to be looking for experts, and we're going to pay you. We're not going to do this once a month stuff like Ghanaians do here.
Right.
We have one of the top banks here that's willing to work with us to help finance and do mortgages to the point where we have our own credit union.
Yeah.
It's going to be a time where we're going to call you guys out hopefully within the next 30 to 60 days. And like I told you, I promise you, when it launches, you're going to be the first channel I'm coming to launch it and do the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. I am really excited for what's coming. I told you I'm working my butt off so that I can get my butt back to Ghana. Is first and foremost my main focus, our main focus is making sure that we just have a nice comfortable space to raise our family in while we do the work, because of course I'm a Taurus, so I need my feet planted on solid ground so that I could do the work that I'm supposed to do, and I am there. Whatever you guys need, if y'all need to come, and when y'all are ready to make your presentation, I'm here. If even whatever y'all need me for, just call me. Just call me.
What we're going to need right off the jump is project managers in different areas, people that can see it, and people being administrators and putting people to work and overseeing projects where they get done. You don't have to be
a few people.
Okay.
I know a few people. I right off the top of my head, I know 3. So I am, if you're out there and and you have those kind of skills, or you have some skills that you may want to contribute in the right time, we will be sending out the information so that you can contact the organization and we can vet, because you will be properly vetted, and we want the best of our people working on this project, because this is going to be monumental. It's going to be monumental. It is monumental.
One last thing, because we touched on it. People are always concerned about security. We made sure, as you saw in what I sent you, something that is of utmost importance is security. We're going to have one of the best security, from personal protection, property protection, construction protection, everything, even cyber protection. We got the best. Yes. And that's all I'll say with that.
I love it. I love it. And once again, I want to thank you. You're always welcome. I would love for us to have more conversations, especially about our community and how to get our community where we need to go, especially rebuilding the Black family. And because of course our family is the anchor of our communities, of the nation. And with that being said, send your wife my greetings. Tell
She's
everybody
in Florida right now.
Huh?
She's in Florida right now.
Hey, I gotta reach out to her.
Are you in Florida?
No, I'm in Atlanta, but I'm from Florida. So how's she? We'll talk about that in a minute. I need to find her. I gotta reach out to her, because was she here since the storm?
Yep.
Okay, so I need to reach out to her. But thank you so much. It has been amazing talking to you as usual. You're always such a wealth of knowledge. It just, you help to, being here is really heavy on me. And every time I talk to you, I feel lighter. And I appreciate you for that. Because it's not easy for me being here, because I know what freedom tastes like, and this ain't it.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. You're gonna look out for information for the new development coming up. Is there a way for them to contact you? If so, let's get your information out there.
Sure. You can reach out to me at S as in Sam Williams, WILLIAMS @AfricanCentury.com. africancenturydevelopment.com. That's swilliams@africancenturydevelopment.com. And we're just here to serve. And like I said, I ain't mad at nobody. I ain't got time to be mad at nobody.
Right.
I ain't even got time to be angry at white people. I expect them to be
I know that's right.
because my energy is on forging the way for our people now and in the future.
Yes.
And I want that situation with that sister to be dealt with because she has needs, but I just wanted to be dealt with properly.
Exactly. Thank you so much. And until next time, let's break some chains.
Bye.